Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alabama Care live stream. My name is John Wood, and today I am with Miss Cameron Jewell of St. Augustine, Florida, a teacher of holistic arts. And today we're going to get to learn a little bit more about Cameron and her journey. So, Cameron, welcome to the interview. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Very excited to be here, John. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I have just a little bit of information, or a few questions to ask you. And first off, just go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
All right, a little bit about myself. So first, I do like what you said, a teacher of holistic arts. However, I've never called myself that, but I do like it a lot. I feel like I'm more of a health advocate. I don't have so much so a business as much as a mission. I am on a mission to get people to start taking their health, and that's their physical health, their mental health, and their spiritual health, into their own hands. So to teach them how to pay attention to their body so that they can find out what type of food that they need to eat, to teach them how to even, it goes so deep, like with food. Food's a big thing. A lot of the food that we are given, at least here in the United States, as I have not been anywhere else, is poison. From
Okay.
soda, packaged food, packaged meats. It has all of this
Okay.
poison in it that a lot of people aren't really aware of. And as a consequence of that, we now have generations of people, they even, with a genetic disposition to certain diseases, when a lot of it comes from the poison that we've been eating for at least 50 years. So what I do with that is, yeah, so like a health advocate, I sit down with people, I try and put their health, I make it their responsibility. And it's very personal too. I have to sit down with each individual, ask them a series of questions so that I can figure out how their body functions, their individual body. And then I went to school.
Mhm.
I've got my bachelor's of science in alternative medicine. Once I gather all of that information, and as well as a 5 to 7 day food journal, I try to keep it as simple as possible as I can for them, because I think a lot of changing our health and changing our lifestyle can seem so overwhelming when it doesn't have to be. So then after the initial consultation, I then study to see what type of herbs, because one herb can do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean it can do all of those things for one person. So then after I figure out how their individual body works, I figure out what herbs that they need specifically, and then trial and error, work with them over time to get their body functioning how they would like it to be.
I honestly think you just answered 4 of my questions in just that one statement. Thank you. Wow. That was an earful. That had to have been a mouthful to even say. You know your stuff. Um, basically, you may have already just done this, but give us your definition on holistic arts.
So yeah,
Or
no, absolutely. I think the term holistic, we seem to separate things, especially in the Western society. We seem to separate the mind from the body, the spirit from the body. We even separate the systems in our body, and
Mhm.
and with disease. So holistically, I think it's where you take your entire life, all of the constituents into your life, and see what you can add, what you can take away, what you can adjust to make the whole of your life what you would like it to be.
All right. Now, I think you've already given us an example of what you do, and that was actually very good. And so, how long have you been doing this? Like, give us a background of it.
Well, I graduated with my bachelor's of science last year, last May. So I started that. I would say I've dived deep into this journey in the last 5 years, about 5 years. And before you and I had gone on here, you had mentioned, like, because I don't want to start a business for it. A lot of what I do, I
Right, right,
offer
right.
service. I make a lot of medicine and I give most of it away, because I think that medicine, and so my definition of medicine is food and herbs. And I know I've been told that I'm not supposed to call it medicine, but that is what it is. And I feel like what we get from the pharmacy is drugs, and then we have medicine. Um, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so basically, I think like if you go into the doctor's office, it's almost like you lose a piece of humanity. You are no longer an individual person, but rather a piece of paper with a list of symptoms, and then you get a piece, then you get a piece of paper with a prescription and a list of side effects. And I'm trying to just help to bring human interaction and personal responsibility for our health. I don't want anything that I say to be taken as truth. I want to encourage people because I don't have truth. I don't have all of the answers. I speak truth. But that's my truth. So I'm real big on the taking your health into your own hands. Don't take anything that I say as 100%, encouraging people to do the research on whatever I suggest and then decide if they want to do that. And I think that's a big part of what's missing in medicine here.
Okay. I completely understand that now. So, where can people learn more about holistic arts and mainly your role in it? Or in a way of what you believe in, so to speak. Where can people learn more besides Google? Like books?
Let me grab a couple of books here.
She comes ready.
Here's some of my favorite books. We've got Back to Eden. This was written in 1939.
Okay.
And so that's all I can really suggest is the books that I recommend.
Okay.
Michael Tierra is like a pioneer in Western herbalism. So anything from Michael Tierra, I trust. There are many, many, many herbalists out there. Many. I also highly recommend what I believe it's the Holistic Commonwealth Herbalism, Kat and Ren. David Hoffman is another very good herbalist. And so this new holistic herbal, he breaks down the systems in our bodies, how they function, and what herbs have an affinity for that system. And he does it in such a way that it's easy for, the common person to understand. It's not pumped full of these big terms that you have to Google every other word to see what they mean. He makes it very simple and very understandable. And then The Way of Herbs by Michael Tierra is also another good one. And these are just a few out of so many. They're, as far as my role goes in it, I'm such a, man, I love personal interactions. I love, this is one reason why I don't want to make a website to sell my quote unquote products, because they're not products. They are the people's medicine. And when I give them the medicine, I like to know what else they may be taking, how much water they're drinking, if it is in fact the herb that they need. So I try to take as much of a personal approach as I can, because I feel like if I put these products on a website and just anybody and everybody can order them, not a lot of people know what to do with herbs, know the complexity of them, know how they are broken down and used in our body. So while herbs are very safe because they are food, they, just like with anything, they can also be unsafe if they're not used properly.
That is a wealth of information that even I have never really grasped until now. So thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
figure out how to do this.
No problem. Take your time. I don't know. I thought I turned off those things. Anyway, so a little bit more background for those that are watching. I went to school with Cameron for many, many years, and then she just one day left me. Like, just left me. Moved off to St. Augustine, never even heard of St. Augustine until now. And what necessitated the move for you to St. Augustine because of your journey, so to speak? Was it better for your health?
Well, so I have a very dysfunctional, very abusive background, I don't know how to say that. So I came from a very broken home, I guess you could say, to say the least. Very broken. And I didn't just go straight from the Panhandle to St. Augustine. I went from the Panhandle to Mississippi, back to the Panhandle, then to Pittsburgh, then to Philadelphia. And it was in Philadelphia when I realized I needed to get away from my family, away from everybody. And my grandfather had dementia for 15 years, and my mother took care of him for about the last 8 years of his life. And then I helped in the last 2 years of his life. And then after he passed, they had this little place in St. Augustine that my grandmother wasn't really sure what to do with it now that he was gone. So I asked her if I could have the opportunity to come down here, take over the payments, take care of the place, and start my life. And when I moved down here, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. So I got a bike, and I had just started college, and I paid my own way through college. I did get some scholarships, which helped a lot. So that was kind of stressful. So then I got a bike, and I rode a bike around St. Augustine for the first year, and then saved up for a car. But man, I just basically just came and planted myself here and dived into my studies and discovered so many things. And just haven't really stopped. So to say I was born into this life where of just sick people, very sick people, mentally ill, physically ill. You know, I call it the lower class. I feel like I represent the lower class because that's where I come from. And when I look at the bigger picture as to how these people got like this, how we have so many drug addicts, how we have so many diabetics, how we have so many obese people, it's kind of because I feel like society has been set up this way to make the rich richer and the sick sicker. So that's why I call it the people's medicine, because you don't need health insurance. You don't need all of these toxic chemicals and poison pumped into your body. What we need to do is realize that our food in the grocery store is poison, that our waters are being contaminated, that when we drink soda or anything with high fructose corn syrup, processed sugar, preservatives, that we are poisoning ourselves. So I see this whole class of people that are sick, that are dying, that are suffering, and that are stuck. And the reason that they are stuck is because we have these corporations like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And I mean, you name it, man, these big corporations pumping us full of poison. And we don't even know it. We don't even know it. And then they make healthy food so expensive, you know? And that's why I'm trying to, this is just the beginning of my journey. This is why I'm just now, speaking out, putting my voice out there. I spent the last 5 years studying before I even began to speak on it. So that's probably where my motivation came from. And that's why, I don't have a business. I try to give as much of my medicine away as I can. And then the people that can afford to pay me, I obviously need to buy the herbs. I need to buy the equipment to make the medicine. I have to pay my bills. But I also live with very little. I don't need a lot to live. I need gas in my car insurance, my bills paid, and good, nutritious food and clean water. And I think that if we could prioritize this, especially the lower class, that's who I'm trying to reach, then we can start to shift the way the society is set up. Because people are dehydrated, John. Think about it like this. Our body is at least 80% water. So if all you drink is soda or milk, milk is so bad for your body, and they promoted it years ago as if it's what everybody needs, and it's not. It's mucus forming. It's very congesting. We're the only species on this planet that drinks milk after we get off the tit, and not only that, we drink it from another species. Nobody else does this. So where I was going with that was, so if we're not drinking water and we are drinking these other liquids, that means that 80% of our body is being made out of soda, high fructose corn syrup, processed sugar. So we're not giving our body what it needs to function. Our brains are dehydrated. People literally cannot think for themselves because they are being poisoned and don't even realize it. Take your time.
Wow. That just woke me up. That is what I think people needed to hear and what I needed to hear. Wow. I was just about to ask if you had any parting words for our viewers, or about the degrees that you have in this field. But what you just said just sums up every single thing that we have. But go ahead with what you need to say. I'm now
I mean,
shocked.
I only have my bachelor's of science in alternative medicine. I am a certified family herbalist through Dr. Christopher, which I forgot to mention. He's the real pioneer of Western medicine, is Dr. Christopher. So through he has a whole course. So through I am certified family herbalist through his school, the School of Natural Healing. I did work at a herbal clinic that I ended up managing and running before I left for 2 years. So I gained a lot of hands-on experience there. And then, I mean, I'm out in my community every day. I reach out to the homeless and I give them medicine. I mean, I'm out in the streets every single day talking to people. I buy them water filters so they have no reason to be dehydrated. I buy them the Brita filter and I buy them the filter just to get them started. I give them the medicine. So a lot of I gain more knowledge with my hands-on trial and error, which I really want to stress on that. People need to understand this is very important too. Let's say you're a diabetic. No, okay, let's say you've had asthma your whole life. You know, let's say you're 27 years old and you've had asthma your whole life. We can alleviate that asthma. I have to be very careful with my verbiage here. However, if you've had it for 27 years, you need to commit to at least a year of the herbs that you were given and the instructions that you were given. Consistency is key with this. And what I think a lot of people, especially in today's society, they want like this magic pill that's going to solve all of their problems for them. And that's never going to work. What is going to work is changing your diet, moving your body, and consistently eating healthy, and herbs are food, and consistently taking your herbs and consistently eating healthy food. But back to your original question, I think that's where a lot, the degree helped, the working at the clinic helped, reading the books helps. But once you start, and this is with anything, you can read about it all that you want, but once you start doing it, man, you just gain momentum. And since I just jumped in and I'm not treating anybody, since I started helping people take their health into their own hands, I feel like I've learned 10 times more by just diving in and doing it than I have those 4 years reading the books and taking the tests.
You are incredible, Cameron. That is exactly what people need to hear, I believe. And coming from the society of, well, I wouldn't call it normality, but the way that we're used to, hearing your words have shaken something up inside me to, I guess, make what you're doing more known. And that's probably why we're doing this interview now. Because I believe, honestly, that people need to know. Really, I believe people need to hear this, and I appreciate every single word that you've spoken today. And I believe our viewers, if we have any, I don't see any questions in the comment section yet, unless they're being hidden. Okay, yeah, that was hidden.
I know how to share it.
Yikes, yeah, I mean, I shared it just by clicking the share button on the post.
Yeah, I got it now. Cool, it's
Okay.
shared.
But, y'all, if you have any questions for Cameron, drop them in the chat, in the comment section, so that we can know, because I honestly feel like people would like to learn more about this, would like to know more, and me, one-on-one, I'm gonna definitely be talking with you, because I don't know how I can help you, but I can do my best, so to speak.
Drink water. You want to help me? Quit buying soda. Quit eating fast food. Drink water. Quit supporting these corporations that are not only poisoning us, but profiting off of poisoning us. That's how we can help, is by taking our health into our own hands and taking care of our bodies and knowing what we're putting in there.
Perfect. Lori Wolf Safronic says, I'm here. I love what Cameron has to say. Very interesting.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, really. That's awesome. Any more questions, you guys?
And
bring
anybody
them in.
can at any time feel free to reach out to me. This medicine is for the people. If you need help, I am here. If you want to start taking, your health into your own hands, but realize that too, that it's your responsibility. Don't come to me thinking I can heal you. Only you can heal you. And that's part of the problem in the society. We go to these white coats and we put our entire life in their hands, and we take whatever they give to us without asking any questions. Like, I am not here to heal anybody. I am here to just give you what I know so that you can start to heal yourself. And until we take responsibility for our bodies, we will be subjected to somebody else.
Anybody else? That I'm going through the stuff that we've just discussed in my head as we're still talking, and I swear, I think my brain's about to explode because you've given so much information, and so, have you even thought of, okay, Rachel Barrett asks, what about headaches? Is there a healthier way to heal them? That's a good question, Rachel.
Hydrate for one. What I would need to know from Rachel is how much water does she drink every day? What food is she eating? This is the most important thing.
Right.
I guarantee, Rachel, that if and I don't know you, so I guess I can't guarantee, but if you started to drink a gallon of filtered water every day, you don't want to drink tap water. And if you can avoid plastic bottles as much as you can, especially plastic bottles that have been left outside and exposed to heat, because when that plastic is exposed to heat and expands, those chemicals then end up in our water. But start to drink a gallon of water a day. You're going to pee a lot. And a lot of people get aggravated because they have to pee so much, but every time you pee, you are flushing toxins.
Wow. And Lori also called out my former addiction.
What's that?
Mountain Dew.
So Mountain Dew is hands down the worst. The worst. Okay. I mean, look at those neon green colors and picture them going into your body. It's like you are drinking nuclear waste. Oh, and then I think something our viewers might like to know is, let's say you take a soda, all right? Like, let's say that the back of it said that it has 40 grams of sugar in it. You got to picture 40 grams of sugar and then know that it's sugar in its dried form. So before it's liquefied, it's 40 grams, which in most of those soda bottles, it would fill up over a quarter of the soda bottle if you did it in its dried form. And that's what it is. It's 40 grams of dried processed sugar in that bottle. And that's just a guesstimate, that's just a random number.
Right.
But these are things we need to think about. When you look, we've got to, and I am more than willing to help anybody learn how to read the back of our ingredients, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm an expert at anything. I am an expert with my body and my health, and I have some things that I can share for people taking theirs into their own hands. But high fructose corn syrup, sodium nitrates, sodium nitrates, and most of those packaged delis, they are poison. Any color dye, yellow dye, red dye, that is poison. So you want us to learn how to read, and all you have to do is sit in front of your computer for 20 minutes and look up some things on the food that you're eating. Find out what those ingredients do in your body. Think about things before you consume them.
All right. Well, one of these days, there's going to be a book on the shelves in bookstores written by Cameron Jewell on everything that we've discussed today. I could just see it now. Like, get with me and we'll write this together. Speaker, writer, everything is just,
find me on YouTube, man.
Definitely. You guys can definitely subscribe to her channel and get to learn a little bit more about.
I am Cameron Jewell. But honestly, a lot of my platforms on social media are a mixture of things because I'm also trying to play my part in the revolution. And the revolution is people learning how to think for themselves, people drinking water so that they can think for themselves, and breaking out of this system that society has been built around. So there's a lot. And I know people keep saying that I need to narrow it down a little bit. But if you're looking for advice on your health, I do suggest that you message me personally. There is a lot of content on my YouTube channel. My Instagram has a lot of content, but it's a lot of things in one place. And I would prefer that if you want my advice on your health, that we speak personally.
I'm speechless. I'm shocked. I'm not sure what to say now. I think for the first little thing that I've ever done by myself, I've picked a winner of someone to talk to, and the information that you've given today has just been one of the things that really draws me to learning more about what you're doing is the fact that yes, all the stuff that's that you've discussed, it's true, it's really happening, and it's really it's not waking people up, it's not giving people the opportunity to see the better in themselves,
because it's not even it's not completely their fault. We've been poisoned for a long time, and I'm on also this mission to defund McDonald's. And people need to realize they don't know that when they feed their children McDonald's that they are poisoning them. They don't know this. That's not real food. And when we consume these fake foods, our bodies don't know what to do with them. So then our body tries the best that it can, but that's how all these malfunctions start to happen, because we're not giving it real food. We need water, we need fruits and vegetables, we need healthy meat. This is another thing that's so important. Those meats in the stores, you've got to get antibiotic free, free range chicken and beef and all of that, because if you just do a little bit of research, you'll see where they keep all of these chickens in these small areas, so many stacked on top of each other, that they then have to pump them full of antibiotics, because if one chicken gets sick, it will spread so quickly that all the other chickens will get sick, and then that corporation will lose money. These corporations are poisoning us. So it's so important to see where you're spending your money. And I'm really talking to the lower class here. We need to do something, and we need to stand up. And the first thing that we can do is start by hydrating, stop giving our money to McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, all of them. Start doing research on the food that we're eating, and we need to understand that we are being poisoned. They are poisoning us. It's a lot, I know.
It's definitely a lot. Any closing remarks, any parting words, any advice that you want to give to our to those that are viewing this interview? And
please hydrate. And a good rule of thumb is let's say, you weigh 100 pounds, you take that and cut it in half to 50. You want to drink 50 ounces of water a day. So take whatever you weigh and divide it in half and try to drink that many ounces a day. If you're already a dehydrated person, I suggest starting with more than that. So if you weigh 100 pounds, drink 70 ounces a day until you get your body where it needs to be for like a month or so. You can't, so many people struggle with headaches and they don't even realize it's because they're dehydrated. Their physical organ in their head can't function because it's dehydrated. And so it causes pain. Is that where all headaches come from? Absolutely not. But so many of them do. Hydrate. Those are my parting words. Hydrate and research your food and defund McDonald's.
wow. Any last questions that you guys want to put in the comments, please do. And if not, then I believe that will end today's interview. with Cameron Jewell, and what an eye-opening experience it's been to sit and talk with you and basically get to learn more about what you have devoted your life to. And, and
I
you
am
know,
committed
if
to this for the rest of my life.
this is what a healthy way to, commit, what a way to just dive headfirst into. And
Thank you.
now I'm gonna go and throw every single piece of fried chicken out of my refrigerator that I just air fried like an
Well,
hour
start
ago.
with the Mountain Dew, man. Start with the Mountain Dew. Throw it out and then recycle the bottle, okay?
Someone's gonna kill me. I can just tell it now. Okay. Anything
Hey,
else, guys, before we get out of here? Anyone else got anything they want to say? Oh Lord.